Imagine this: you're sitting at the breakfast table, sipping your morning tea. As you reach for your cup, your hand trembles slightly. You laugh it off, thinking, "Oh well, I'm just getting older." Later that day, you forget where you placed your glasses for the third time this week. You sigh and say to yourself, "Senior moments, they happen." But what if I told you that these little changes, the shaking hand, the forgetfulness, the slight unsteadiness when you walk, might not be aging at all? What if they were silent red flags that your brain is in danger? Every year, 15 million people around the world experience a stroke, and many of them have no idea it's coming. The terrifying part? The early symptoms of a stroke can look almost identical to normal signs of aging. By the time most people realize what's happening, precious minutes have slipped away, and in a stroke, every minute counts. In fact, nearly 2 million brain cells die every 60 seconds during a major stroke. But here's the good news: there's a simple, 2-minute test that can help you figure out whether what you're feeling is just natural aging or a life-threatening warning sign. It's so quick and so reliable that top neurologists use it in hospitals every single day. And you don't need any special equipment or medical training, you can do it right at home. Think about it: in just 2 minutes, you could potentially save your brain, your independence, and even your life. Imagine being able to catch a stroke before it strikes, giving you the precious time needed to get help and prevent permanent damage. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to perform this life-saving test, explain exactly what to look for, and teach you how to tell the difference between normal aging changes and serious neurological red flags. Whether you're over 60, caring for aging parents, or simply want to protect your brain health, this is critical information you need to know right now. Stay tuned, because this isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to those years, and maybe even preventing the stroke you never saw coming. As we get older, our bodies naturally begin to change. You might notice your joints feel a little stiffer in the morning, your memory isn't quite as sharp as it once was, or you don't move as quickly as you used to. These changes are a normal part of aging and happen gradually over time. But here's where things get tricky: some early signs of a stroke can look almost identical to these normal aging changes. This overlap can make it incredibly difficult to know whether what you're experiencing is harmless or a serious warning that your brain is in danger. For example, maybe you've noticed your balance isn't as steady as it once was. You assume it's because of aging bones or arthritis, but it could actually be a sign that blood flow to a part of your brain has been temporarily blocked. Or perhaps you've been feeling unusually tired and have moments where your speech feels a bit off. Many people think it's just exhaustion or stress, when in reality, these could be mini-strokes, also known as TIAs, transient ischemic attacks, brief episodes that often occur before a major stroke. The biggest difference between normal aging and a stroke is how quickly the symptoms appear. Aging changes usually happen slowly and steadily over months or years. Strokes, on the other hand, come on suddenly and dramatically. Here's why this matters: time is brain. During a stroke, your brain is deprived of oxygen and nutrients, and 1.9 million neurons die every single minute. The longer it takes to get help, the more likely you are to suffer permanent brain damage, disability, or even death. Sadly, many seniors delay seeking treatment because they mistake stroke warning signs for just getting older. By the time they realize something is seriously wrong, it's often too late to prevent life-changing consequences. That's why the simple 2-minute test you're about to learn is so powerful. It helps you quickly identify whether a sudden change in your body is likely to be normal aging or a neurological emergency. Think of it like a smoke alarm for your brain. You don't ignore a smoke alarm and hope the fire goes away, you act immediately. In the same way, this test gives you the signal you need to protect your brain, your independence, and your future. A stroke happens when blood flow to part of the brain is suddenly interrupted. Your brain, like every organ, depends on a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood to function. When that blood flow is blocked or reduced, brain cells begin to die almost immediately. There are two main types of strokes. The first is an ischemic stroke, the most common type, accounting for about 87% of all strokes. It happens when a blood clot or fatty deposit blocks an artery leading to the brain, cutting off circulation. The second is a hemorrhagic stroke, which occurs when a blood vessel in the brain bursts, causing internal bleeding. This type is less common but often more severe and dangerous. There's also something called a transient ischemic attack or TIA, often referred to as a mini-stroke. A TIA is like a temporary blockage that clears on its own, so symptoms only last a few minutes or hours. But don't let the word mini fool you, a TIA is a serious warning shot. Roughly 1 in 3 people who experience a TIA will have a full-blown stroke within a year if they don't take action. Strokes can happen to anyone at any age, but the risk climbs dramatically after age 60. As we age, our cardiovascular system naturally changes. Blood vessels become less flexible and more prone to plaque buildup. The heart may not pump as efficiently. These changes don't guarantee a stroke, but they raise the risk significantly. Other age-related conditions also increase the likelihood of stroke, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat, high cholesterol, lack of physical activity, smoking, and excessive alcohol use. Because these factors often develop as people grow older, seniors must pay extra attention to sudden changes in their bodies. Even a minor symptom could signal a much larger problem. The problem is that early stroke symptoms often look a lot like the natural effects of aging, making it difficult to tell the difference. For example, forgetting where you left your keys now and then can be part of normal aging, but suddenly being unable to recall names or recognize familiar people could indicate a stroke. A slightly slower walking pace that develops gradually over the years is usually normal, but sudden trouble walking, dizziness, or loss of balance might mean a stroke is happening. A mild hand tremor when reaching for something might be arthritis or aging nerves, while sudden weakness or complete numbness in one arm or leg is a red flag. Feeling tired after a long day of activity is expected, but overwhelming fatigue or confusion that appears suddenly should never be ignored. Gradual changes in hearing or vision are common with aging, but if you suddenly experience blurred or lost vision in one or both eyes, it's an emergency. The key difference between normal aging and a stroke is timing. Aging changes happen gradually over months or years, while stroke symptoms appear suddenly, often within minutes or seconds. For example, if you've been slowly losing balance over several years, that's likely aging. But if you wake up one morning and suddenly can't stand or walk straight, that's a major warning sign. During a stroke, every minute counts. Doctors have a saying, time is brain. For every minute a large brain vessel is blocked, 1.9 million neurons die. This is why immediate action is critical. If treatment begins within the first 3 to 4.5 hours, often called the golden window, doctors can give clot-busting medication or perform procedures to restore blood flow. Quick treatment dramatically improves the chances of recovery and reduces the risk of permanent brain damage. Sadly, many people miss this window because they don't realize they're having a stroke. They dismiss their symptoms as just a sign of getting older or being tired, and by the time they seek medical care, it's too late. To prevent this, you need a simple, quick way to check for stroke symptoms at home. Most people are familiar with the BFAST acronym: face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, and time to call emergency services. However, research shows that adding one more step makes it even more powerful, creating the BFAST method. Start with balance. Stand with your feet together and close your eyes. If you feel steady, that's good. If you sway heavily, feel dizzy, or can't stay upright for 10 seconds, it could indicate a stroke affecting the back of your brain. Next is face. Look in a mirror or have someone look at you. Try to smile normally. If one side of your face droops or doesn't move like the other, that's a warning sign. For arms, raise both arms straight out in front of you, palms up, and hold for 10 seconds. If one arm drifts downward or feels weak or numb, that's a red flag. For speech, say a simple sentence like, "The sky is blue today." Slurred speech, strange words, or difficulty speaking clearly are signs of a possible stroke. Finally, time. If you notice any red flags during this test, call emergency services immediately. Do not wait to see if symptoms improve. Even if they disappear, it could have been a mini-stroke, which often precedes a major stroke. Each step of the BFAST test targets a different brain area. Balance checks the cerebellum and brainstem, face evaluates the facial nerves, arms test motor function, and speech tests the brain's language centers. By running through these steps in just 2 minutes, you can quickly assess brain health and identify problems before it's too late. Consider Mrs. Thompson, a 72-year-old retired teacher. One morning, she noticed her right hand felt a bit clumsy. She assumed it was arthritis and ignored it. Later that day, her daughter asked her to smile for a photo and immediately noticed her smile looked uneven. They decided to do the BFAST test. Mrs. Thompson swayed during the balance step, her right arm drifted downward, and her speech sounded slightly slurred. They called emergency services immediately. At the hospital, doctors confirmed she was having an ischemic stroke. Because they acted quickly, she received treatment within the golden window and made a full recovery with no permanent damage. If they had waited, the results could have been devastating. Mini-strokes, or TIAs, often last only a few minutes and symptoms disappear quickly. Many people shrug them off because they feel fine afterward. This is a dangerous mistake. A TIA is like your brain sending a warning signal that something serious could happen soon. Research shows that up to 40% of people who experience a TIA will have a full-blown stroke, often within days or weeks. If you or someone you love has sudden symptoms that go away, treat it as an emergency and seek medical help immediately. Some conditions, like migraines, inner ear problems, or low blood sugar, can mimic stroke symptoms. But here's the rule: better safe than sorry. If you're unsure, assume it's a stroke and call emergency services. Doctors can run tests to confirm the cause, and a false alarm is far better than missing a true stroke. While age and genetics play a role in stroke risk, there are many lifestyle factors you can control to lower your risk. Managing blood pressure is crucial, as high blood pressure is the leading cause of strokes. Staying physically active, even with simple daily walks, helps improve circulation. A brain-healthy diet rich in leafy greens, whole grains, nuts, and omega-3 fatty acids from fish protects your blood vessels and brain. Quitting smoking and limiting alcohol consumption significantly reduce stroke risk. Managing diabetes and cholesterol through medication, diet, and regular checkups is equally important. Staying hydrated is another simple yet effective habit, as dehydration thickens the blood and increases clot risk. If you ever experience sudden changes in your body, trouble speaking, walking, seeing, or moving, don't wait to see if it passes. Even if you're unsure, treat it as an emergency and call for help immediately. Every minute you delay puts more of your brain at risk. Awareness is powerful. By learning and sharing the BFAST test, you create a safety net that could save not only your life but also the lives of friends and family. Mrs. Thompson's story is proof that quick action matters. Her daughter's knowledge of the test didn't just save her brain, it preserved her independence and quality of life. With just 2 minutes, you have the ability to spot a stroke early, take action, and protect your future. Preventing a stroke isn't just about reacting when symptoms appear, it's about building daily habits that keep your brain and blood vessels healthy for the long run. While some factors like age or genetics are beyond your control, there are many simple steps you can take to dramatically lower your risk. Think of these tips as small, everyday investments in your future independence and quality of life. One of the most important steps is staying hydrated. Many people, especially seniors, underestimate how vital water is for brain health. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, making it easier for clots to form. This raises the risk of blockages that can lead to strokes. Make it a goal to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water each day, unless your doctor has given you specific restrictions. Keep a water bottle nearby as a reminder, and sip throughout the day instead of waiting until you feel thirsty. Getting quality sleep is another powerful but often overlooked factor. Poor or irregular sleep patterns can raise blood pressure and increase inflammation in the body, 2 key contributors to stroke risk. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep each night. Try creating a calming bedtime routine, such as dimming the lights, turning off screens, and doing a few minutes of deep breathing or gentle stretching before bed. Engaging your mind regularly is just as important as caring for your body. Mental exercises like puzzles, reading, learning a new language, or even playing a musical instrument help keep your brain sharp. Staying mentally active strengthens connections between brain cells, which can improve resilience and recovery if a stroke ever does occur. Another crucial habit is tracking your health numbers. Blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol levels are silent risk factors. You can't feel them rising until they cause serious damage. Check these numbers regularly at home or during doctor visits. Keeping a simple log can help you and your healthcare provider notice dangerous trends early. Finally, schedule regular medical checkups, even if you feel fine. Many strokes happen to people who didn't know they were at risk because underlying conditions went undetected. A simple routine exam can uncover hidden problems before they escalate into emergencies. By combining these habits, hydration, sleep, mental activity, health monitoring, and regular checkups, you create a strong defense against stroke. Prevention isn't about making huge, overwhelming changes overnight. It's about small, consistent choices that add up to a longer, healthier life with the independence and clarity you deserve. Aging is something we all experience, and it comes with changes we can often predict. Our hair grays, our skin wrinkles, our joints become a bit stiffer, and our reaction times slow down. These are natural and expected signs of growing older. But there's another side to aging that we don't always see coming: sudden, dramatic changes that aren't just a normal part of life. These changes can signal something far more serious, like a stroke. The heartbreaking reality is that many people mistake early stroke warning signs for simple aging. A shaky hand? It's just arthritis. A little dizziness? I must be tired. Forgetting a word or having trouble speaking? That happens when you get older. But sometimes, these aren't harmless quirks of aging, they're urgent SOS signals from your brain. That's why the BFAST test is so vital. This 2-minute test is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools to protect your brain health. It doesn't require fancy equipment, a doctor's visit, or a medical degree. It just takes awareness and a couple of minutes of your time. BFAST stands for B. Balance, sudden trouble walking or feeling dizzy and unsteady. F. Face, a part of the face droops or feels numb. Arms, one arm drifts downward when both are raised. S. Speech, slurred or strange speech. T. Time, act fast and call emergency services immediately. By learning this test, you're giving yourself the chance to catch a stroke in its earliest moments, when quick action can make all the difference between full recovery and permanent disability. It's no exaggeration to say this test could save your life, or the life of someone you love. Think about Mrs. Thompson, the woman we talked about earlier. She almost ignored her symptoms, assuming her sudden imbalance and tingling arm were due to arthritis and aging. If her daughter hadn't known the BFAST signs and acted quickly, Mrs. Thompson could have been permanently disabled. Instead, because they got to the hospital in time, she made a full recovery and returned to living an active, independent life. That is the power of knowledge and quick action. Now, here's why this matters for you: every second counts during a stroke. In fact, nearly 2 million brain cells die every single minute that a stroke goes untreated. This means waiting just to see if it gets better can cause irreversible brain damage. Even if the symptoms disappear after a few minutes, it could be a mini-stroke or transient ischemic attack, a serious warning sign that a bigger, more devastating stroke could strike soon. So, what should you do right now to protect yourself and those around you? Here's a simple action plan. Step 1. Practice the BFAST test. Take a moment today to perform the test on yourself so you know what your normal looks like. This way, you'll be able to recognize sudden changes immediately. You can also practice it with a spouse, friend, or family member. Step 2. Educate your circle. Strokes often happen when other people are present, during family dinners, social gatherings, or everyday activities. If those around you know how to perform this test, they'll be ready to act if you ever need help. Share this video with them or sit down and explain the signs. Step 3. Commit to immediate action. If you ever notice any BFAST signs, even if they go away, call emergency services right away. Don't wait, don't try to tough it out, and don't convince yourself it's nothing. Time lost is brain lost. Step 4. Build a prevention routine. As we discussed earlier, prevention is powerful. Stay hydrated, keep your blood pressure and blood sugar in check, get enough sleep, and move your body regularly. Small daily habits can dramatically reduce your stroke risk over time. Finally, Make a promise to yourself and your loved ones: you will not ignore sudden, unusual changes in your body or mind. You will treat them as what they truly are: possible emergencies. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. By spreading this information, you could save someone else's life. Leave a comment below sharing your experiences or questions. Your story might inspire someone to take action at just the right time. Remember, your brain is the center of who you are. It holds your memories, your personality, your independence, and the ability to connect with those you love. Protecting it is one of the most important things you can do. With just 2 minutes of awareness and the courage to act fast, you can safeguard your brain and your future. You deserve to live not just a long life, but a full and vibrant one, free from the devastating effects of a stroke. So today, take the test, share the knowledge, and be prepared, because those 2 minutes could mean everything.